Hey guys, welcome back. And today we're doing a bit of storyboarding. Why? Because storyboarding is necessary if you want to create comics, animation, even movies, just to plot out what you're going to do or your intentions or how you want things to look. So, in terms of making something like that, storyboarding is a very important aspect of creative works, and that is exactly why we're going to be doing it today. Just to map out what my intentions are with this webtoon. And so far, I'm looking for something monstrous, something that's going to erupt out of a dude's skull. And I think that looks really fun. Something that I've realized with concept art as well is that it has freeing qualities, I would say. You just take a pen and you just go buck wild on the canvas, and it feels good. It feels kind of good because there's no obligation that's needed to be made. You just kind of do a brain fart on a page and hope that it turns out somewhat feasible, so then you can get to drawing the real good art. And you don't need to put much pressure on yourself to make it look good, because it just needs to read as something that you can improve upon. And so far, I think I'm doing a pretty good job at that. So these are my storyboards so far for episode 1. There's a lot of eyeballs that I'm drawing here, and a lot of arms. But if you want to make something monstrous, I think, well, as a beginner, you have to put in elements that you're already familiar with, and in this case, that's the human body or body parts. So you'll see a lot of noses, a lot of eyes, arms, you see some mouths, and it's all horror looking because, well, they're not where they're supposed to be, and they're all jumbled up together, so it makes it look like it has a horror vibe to it, which is good in this case because this is kind of a horror action kind of thing that I'm creating. And I had to do a lot of passes on this because I'm not sure what the full intention was. Well, you have an idea. This main character is fighting this thing here, this amalgamation of parts for some reason, and he needs to get through it with his sword. But I'm just trying to find the best way for the main character to look while doing that, and how the environment is to look. So storyboarding in this case is basically just sketching, and sketching a lot just to see how things feel, if you're okay with it. And then after you finish storyboarding, you go in with the details just to make sure that everything is just right. After I'm finished storyboarding this, which, by the way, you don't really need to know much to storyboard, you just want to plan stuff out. But after I finish storyboarding this, I'm going to do some reference studies. I'm going to be observing everything that I can in relation to what this storyboard entails. And then after I finish studying, then I'm going to actually go into the details and draw the best that I can. And as a beginner artist, that's not going to be very well, but I'm going to do it anyway. Draw the best that I can and just, make it look appealing somewhat. This is the longest I've ever worked on one piece of continuous art or comic. I'll tell you that much. And it's not even finished as yet. So far, I've done about 8 pages, and I think I have like a couple more to go just to make sure that the story kind of melds well, like it doesn't feel unfinished for a first episode. But I think that is going well. It may take a couple more days, maybe a couple weeks to finish episode 1, and I think overall I can't upload on a weekly schedule because it's just a lot to do in a week for a beginner. Once again, I'm not a veteran at this. This is a very new process, and it's very time consuming. Fun no less. Like really fun. Didn't think I'd have this much, fun doing a storyboard. But it's really freeing, and you just use your imagination and you just throw everything out there. I think more people need to do storyboarding. It's really cool, and you don't have to be anatomically correct. You just need to show intention, and that's the whole point of doing a storyboard. Sometimes I go a bit too much into detail when that's not necessary, but you know, the more you learn, I suppose. Yeah. So after this, a lot of studying will need to be done, and it'll be cool. It'll be fun. We will see what happens. I definitely need more time studying cars and how cars look. I'm getting the perspective wrong. I'm getting the looks of the vehicle wrong. The different parts. It's gonna be a long study session on Pinterest for that tomorrow, and then I don't know. Sometime at the end of this month, I'm going to release episode 1 just to see how it feels, for you guys to feel it out. And, we'll see what happens then. And, well, look at that smartphone. I think that smartphone is looking pretty cool. Yeah, I need to do more research on hands themselves, but yeah, we're getting there. I feel like it's a good attempt. But yeah, this has been storyboarding. Try it out. It's really fun. And, follow me and all that stuff.